Okay, let's replace this Windsor 3-pin bar tip. These are replaceable. This one here, it does turn. It's really crusty though. A lot of rust in there. You could probably make it work, but why bother? I have this other one here. So here I've got it supported on these 2x4s, and I've got a hole drilled in one of the 2x4s. That'll make sense later. I've got some punches. These steel bars are for once I get this old one out and start putting in the new rivets. You'll see all that later. So here I'll move the rivets and the new bar tip out of the way. Try and give myself a working space, and I'm hesitant to say that this is a how-to video. This is just more like a way that you can do it. I think I watched the chainsaw guy. He did it, and I believe that his way was much faster than me. All right, so here's the replaceable bar tip. It's got 3 pins, as the name would suggest. You've got to remove those 3 pins. So here I'm going to use a drill to kind of remove the top part of it. You got to be careful not to have it too big, because there's actually little pilot holes in the bar that attach. So you don't want to damage that. So I don't go all the way through it. I'm just trying to kind of take the top flattened part of the rivet off to make it easier to hammer it through. And I see I got that hole that I drilled, line it up with the rivet so that you can drive the rivet straight through the hole there. And I've got this little ball peen hammer. Probably if I had a bigger one, it would work better. And yeah, be careful you don't take your knuckle off, which is why, a bigger hammer, probably 2 hammer taps, and it'll go through. So here I'm having some problems with it here. I didn't take enough out, or it's just the fact that my ball peen hammer is not heavy duty enough to smash the rivet out. It's kind of coming out crooked. And I'm going to try and do this without breaking the drill bit off. Go back at it again. I'm being a little bit cautious with this because I don't want to wreck the bar itself. Probably more cautious than I need to be. And yeah, it's coming out, but not coming out straight. Line it up with that hole that I drilled again. Make sure that's not the problem. And kind of come at it at another angle. Yeah, there you go. Was able to whack it through. So there's one out, 2 more to go. Line it up with, basically put this into high speed just so it don't bore you to death. It's the exact same thing 3 times in a row. It gets a little bit easier each time because I figure out, which way is the best. Like I said, I think that you could probably just use a really heavy hammer and a punch, and not even drill them. I think you can just hammer them straight through if you're confident enough with it. But I was being safe. It's not every day you come across a 36-inch bar like this, so I didn't really want to damage it. I want to make sure I got it out safely without wrecking it. So just keep working away at it, drilling, and just trying to remove the top part of the rivet. And for some reason, the first rivet was easier to drill than these other ones. They seemed a little bit harder, or my drill bit was getting dull. That's probably what it was, actually. And whammo, 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 and good Lord, there we go. Finally got it out, and then the next step is to get that bar tip off, and it's crusted on there, and it's a tight fit, which is a good thing. Just use either a chisel, probably a chisel would have been better, or try to knock this thing out. Finally got it out. There it is. So there's the old one. There's the old, I should have slowed it down so you could actually see the 3 holes. There's the 3 holes that are basically in that bar. You can see them, I think. Clean it all out nice so that the new bar slides in nice and smooth. I think I used a little wire brush here and, brake cleaner, sure. I was going all at it here. And yep, what am I doing here now? Oh yeah, right. So yeah, decide I'm going to try and slide that on. Obviously, I'm looking for things. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about. Yeah, while I had the thing off, I decided that I'm not just gonna fire that new bar tip onto an old dirty nasty bar with bad rails and stuff like that. So I use that wire brush. It works really good to clean the bar rails. WD-40. This here is actually a bar rail dresser. I bought this. You can just use a flat file. But you just got to be real steady with it. This here works pretty good. It's basically a file holder with a one single direction file. You just line it up, and it's keeps it square. And you just run it up and down the bar rail. Obviously, this was more for demonstration purposes. I put it in a vise and it holds it better, straighter. And you just work away, if it's grooved out at all. And this one was a little bit. It had a groove in it. And, the bar rail was kind of curled over a little bit. So you can use something like that. Unless you're more industrial than I am and you actually have like a belt sander. They work, awesome. And then, just a flat file. I use this as like a raker gauge file just to get rid of the burrs on the side of the rails there. Just, up and down all the sides. And then, time to put in the new one now that the bar rails are all nice and cleaned and dressed up. We'll go ahead and put this in. Some little penetrating oil there just around that little area that it slides in just to make life a little bit easier. I probably could have put some into the actual bar tip itself. That probably would have helped. And like I said, it's a nice tight fit. I've done this on one other bar, maybe two, and they're not always as tight as this. So I'm guessing that's a fairly good thing. It wasn't worn, so it's going to be a nice tight fit. So gloves on just to shove this thing down. So I ended up putting that sprocket nose through my hand. And there you go. Not much hammer it or anything. Just push it down nicely, easy. There we go. She's in. All the three holes line up. You can see there right through them. Awesome. Perfect. And then this is what the metal bars are for. Is just so you're going to put a rivet through that and then hammer one end of the rivet flat. There's the rivet there. One end is kind of flat so that it holds in the back of it. Just slide it up through like this and make sure the top of it's sticking out. And another one just for good measures, and then make sure that rivet's resting against nice and flat so that the rivet's sticking all the way through. And then this is where you're gonna grab your ball peen hammer and do exactly what it was intended to do. You're gonna peen it out and flatten it off. And that's it. Here we are, hammering it flat. Looks like I'm hitting around it everywhere except for in the middle of it here. Yeah, 400 hits just to hit it, 3 times. You get the idea. I think I was probably going above and beyond there, but just to make sure. So that's it. There's one. It's in. Really simple process. And again, kind of like removing them. It's the exact same process. So I think I speed up the tape here just to save us all a couple minutes of our life watching me do this. Yeah, here we go. High speed. Peen it all out, use the rounded end to get the rivet in there. Bam, 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 bam. Use the flat side there. Oh yeah, I'm doing a real good job on it there, just hammering the hell of it. I mean, obviously, I'm not. You don't even have to hit it that hard. Those rivets are fairly soft. And the other one flat. Make sure they're in there nice and flat. I mean, really, you only want to have to do this once, and then that's it. There we go. That's it. Brand new bar tip. And spins nicely. And you want to check the fitment where the old bar rail meets up with the new one. The last one I did like this, the bar was worn down, like a quarter of an inch. There was a big gap where the chain would have been hitting into the new bar tip. And in that case, if it does happen, I think it's a fairly common thing. You have to file everything a little bit flat so there's a little bit better transition. And what I'm seeing here was confusing me a bit. I started kind of freaking out here. I read on one side of the sprocket tip, it said 3/8, and then the other one was 0.375, and then I was a little bit confused on that until I grabbed my calculator and did the math, and 3 divided by 8 is 0.375. So I had 3/8 bar tip. Excellent. There you go. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. Thanks, everybody.